Whew. So anyway, there's that. Let's look at the next page. We're going to calculate a variable costing income statement format on the next page. Variable costing income statement format. Oh, Katie, do you remember what that is?
I'm sorry?
Do you remember? It's Katie, right? Not Caddy, but Katie.
No,
It's Katie. Variable costing income statement format from the second day of class. Did you not bring your notes with you?
no, I did. I didn't have my notes.
But you did, and you didn't copy them in? Does Matt have it?
It's revenue minus variable cost,
Contribution what? No. Matt, did you not write that down?
It looks like market. I might have.
Revenue minus variable cost equals contribution margin minus what, Katie?
fixed costs, and then if that equals operating income.
Yes. Yeah, and that's, yes. There we are. Awesome. Now, I want to give you a couple of ratios. And we're going to do two versions. In total and per unit. Okay? We're going to do the variable cost ratio, and that equals variable costs over revenue, which equals variable cost per unit over selling price per unit. And here you very clearly see how I distinguish between totals and per unit amounts. Contribution margin ratio equals contribution margin over revenue equals contribution margin per unit over selling price per unit. Okay? What?
Is that a VL or a VC?
VC. Variable cost. Good question, though. I mean, I would hate to have that in your notes wrong, like Matt wrote down, you know, contribution market.
Usually my C's go around.
Well, I mean, it's kind of round. Oh. Is that better? You got this all written down? Okay. Now, let me make up some numbers. And I make up the same numbers every semester for some reason. ECTA, what's the variable cost ratio using those numbers? Yes.
It's 60 divided by 100.
Which equals? I'm sorry? 3/5. What percent would that be? 60 divided by 100. Holden? Holden Smith? Can you help her? 60 divided by 100 is what percent? This is about as easy a calculation as you could do in your head. 60%. And you knew that, didn't you? You knew that. Yeah, you were not sure, but you knew. You knew. So it's 60%. So This is 60% for using our numbers here. 60%, which she also said was 3/5, which is a correct statement. Okay? Now, what is the contribution margin ratio, Nick? Equals 40%. And there's something kind of curious and interesting just occurred. The variable cost ratio and the contribution margin ratio will always add up to 100%. Okay? Always add up to 100%. So make a note of that. Contribution margin ratio, variable cost ratio will always add up to 100%. Because that means all I have to do on a test is give you one of them, and you know both of them. Okay? So it's a very important piece of information to remember. Questions, comments, concerns, random thoughts? Yes, sir.
What was that last definition you just gave us?
Contribution margin ratio and the variable cost ratio add up to 100%. Okay? Are we good? Now we're going to the page labeled CVP Intuition. CVP stands for what, Regina? CVP stands for what? You said it at the beginning of class, which is why I just asked you. Cost, volume, profit. I thought you had it memorized, so I thought you could just say it. Cost, volume. That's okay. Also known as break even. What's true? How profitable is a company at break even? Zero. Profit is zero. Okay. So CVP intuition. What did I just do? I don't want to do that. Okay. Total revenues equal total cost. Total revenue equals total cost. That means operating income equals zero. However, who was it? Oh, and I've forgotten. Who was it that told me that companies want to make money? Very good. So we don't want to be content with just breaking even. Companies, they want to make a profit. So let's go. Total revenue equals variable cost plus fixed costs plus operating income. Okay? And then another way to express that in kind of a per unit version, if you will, selling price per unit times X equals variable cost per unit times X plus fixed costs plus operating income. And I want you to put a star by both of those because I will refer to those next class period, okay? And now, and I'm going to hear groans when I say this, but I'm going to do some algebra. This is going to be the only time this semester where we derive a formula. Okay, so I'm going to kind of clump some stuff together. SPU X minus VCU X equals fixed cost plus operating income